Jesus Christ, really? At night? I don't like you. Not one bit. Okay, that one missed, I don't care. Oh, they're shooting it? Nice, thank you. Alright, and welcome back to the channel, buddy, and I hope you're doing fine. Today we're gonna have an honest review about S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2. S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 is probably one of the most anticipated games for 2024, and we will discuss the following question: is S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 worth your money, or is it just an overhyped game? So, quite a spicy topic, I have to say. As always, there will be timestamps in the description below, so you can check them out right here. If you're interested in only very specific topics, you can jump straight to them and you can skip everything that you're not interested in. And with that, I would say, let's go. So at the beginning, I try to always bring everybody on the same page. So let's answer the question, what is S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 actually? So you know what we're talking about. First of all, it's an open world game where you can do whatever the F you want. It's an FPS game, there is no third-person option, and it is in a post-apocalyptic setting. Now, it has the tags horror and survival, and there definitely are your horror moments in this game. What the f? But when it comes to the survival tag, we're gonna have to discuss in a little bit if that's actually true. So in the story, you play as Skiff.
Скіфе, ви дісталися до станції Ехо. Мої колеги звідти все ще не вийшли на зв'язок.
Усі мертві. Штирів не панькався.
Невдало вийшло. Добре, що у нас налагоджена передача даних, тому на нашій науковій роботі це не позначиться.
A stalker. Stalkers are people who roam the radiated zone and they hunt for, glory and artifacts and stuff that they can sell to make some coupons. Coupons, this is the currency of S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2. Nice. That's cool. Oh yeah. Now you have your main quest that you can follow. There's a side quest. Well, there's actually tons of side quests. There are mutants that you will hunt and, run away from. You can do it, man! Okay. Oh my god. Okay, maybe he cannot do it. And also some artifacts that you can gather and collect for your own personal gain or for, making a lot of money. What I always like to do is give people a little bit of background information before we rate the game, because I think it's important, right? Is the game developed by an indie studio that has like 2 or 3 developers, or has it like thousands? That is important and should always influence the score at the end. Now, the game got developed by GSC Game World and is also published by GSC Game World. It was founded in 1995 in Ukraine, so a rather old studio, I have to say. And whenever you hear GSC Game World, you think about the S.T.A.L.K.E.R series. However, in 2001, they developed already their first game, and that was Cossacks, European Wars, and that is an RTS game. A couple years later then, 2007, they gave us S.T.A.L.K.E.R Shadow of Chernobyl. Now, and here's the crazy part, then back to back every year, 2008 we got S.T.A.L.K.E.R Clear Sky, and then later we got 2009 S.T.A.L.K.E.R Call of Pripyat, which is kinda insane, and then 2024 for S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 to get that done. Well, mostly done. So by definition, GSC Game World is an indie studio, because an indie studio is a video game created by individuals or smaller development teams without the financial and technical support of a large game publisher, in contrast to most AAA games. Well, and since they develop and publish the game themselves, I think they kinda are still indie devs because they're not the smallest company. According to Google, there were a few different sources, I took the average. They have around 350 employees, which is quite a bit. Okay, and with that, I hopefully could share some background knowledge about Stalker 2 with you. Let's jump into a little bit more detail. Okay, let's start with performance, and that is honestly already a difficult topic. It has quite rough requirements. I'm gonna blend in now the requirements, the minimum and the recommended settings that you need to have to enjoy Stalker 2. Now keep in mind for the minimum settings, they go with 1080p 30 FPS. So that is quite wild. Here are my specs. Now this is not me trying to throw any shade, alright? This is just showing, okay, this is my impression from the performance of Stalker 2. Here are the requirements and here's the system I ran it on. So the game was not working for me on day one, which is great. I got a volume manager error, I could fix that. That took me hours though, so that was already good start. And you know what that error message did? It shut down my whole PC. Not just the game crashing, it shut down the whole machine, which made me kinda nervous. But after hours and hours of troubleshooting with a friend, thank you very much by the way, my dear Marion, we could fix that. We found the issue. And in case you have that error message too, I'm gonna drop in the pinned comment how we solved it and maybe it will help you too. Let's keep going. After the fix, the game was great, like performance-wise. Absolutely smooth sailing. No stuttering, no frame drops, almost no graphical glitches, so that was alright. And I have to say, after 30 hours of gameplay, actually getting close to 40, I had only 2 crashes, and those were Unreal Engine crashes. So yeah, I think this is acceptable, because you have a lot of autosaving in the game, you're not losing that much progress whenever the game crashes and you have to reload, and on top of that we play a single player game, so it's not like you're losing any matches. Now, just because it was running more or less smoothly for me doesn't mean that optimization is not needed. Optimization is always good, and Stalker 2, because when I dip into my community and I ask them a little bit, hey, how is Stalker 2 running for you? And they're like, we don't have a powerful rig and we struggle a little bit. So I hope that they will work on the optimization. I'm fully aware of that there are mods that increase your performance. Mods are always a little bit difficult when you put them into a review. So I'm only looking at the base game without mods. So I'm fully aware that you can mod already quite a few things to improve the quality of life, but this review will not look at any mods. Only performance right now. Next, we're gonna talk about the audio. Let me start this chapter by telling you that I am sadly spoiled when it comes to audio, because my main game that I play is Hunt Showdown, and Hunt Showdown is probably one of the best video games out there when it comes to audio. Although in the last couple of months, got a little bit less good, but I would still label Hunt Showdown as a benchmark when I look at FPS gaming. The audio in Stalker 2 overall, I would rate it as above average. It's good. It's nothing that I write home about, and sometimes I have to say the music and the ambient sound kind of clips. So it cuts off, comes back, cuts off, comes back, cuts off, comes back, just like my lighting in the background, which is always amazing when I record. Bro, this audio is driving me nuts. The footsteps continue. Now, the gun sound effects are solid. There's nothing to complain here. Some audio can get a bit annoying though. So when you are close to anomalies and you hunt artifacts, you have a warning sound that goes like beep, 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 beep when you're close to anomalies. You are stuck sometimes in these anomalies quite a while, especially at the beginning with a crappy detector, because you need to look for the artifact and it takes a while to find it. And there is no way, as far as I could tell, in-game, without mods, to tune down this beeping sound. And I remember the first time I was in this fire cave and I was looking for the artifact and I had this crappy, well, detector, and the beeping sound was already driving me nuts. So there would be a little bit of room for improvement, I would say, to get a volume slider for detectors. This is just one example. Would be nice to have it for a few more things. You have currently 2 languages that you can listen to, and that is English and Ukrainian. And I would label the English voice acting as sufficient. It's not bad. I've experienced worse, but it's also not, yeah, okay, this is... It's lacking a little bit of life. You can hear it that people... This sounds now stupid because that's of course how they record it. It sounds like people being in a studio and not people actually living in the zone. So the vibe is kinda not there. However, when I use the Ukrainian voice acting, it absolutely sets the ambience, and although I don't really understand what they're saying and I need the subtitles, I can feel it that it's more the real deal.
Мотай на вуз. Я султан. І на цьому кораблі я хазяїн. Будеш мене слухати, заживеш тут добре і в достатку. Не будеш слухати, життя тобі тут теж не буде. По дрібницях мене не смикай. З Калиною і моїми людьми дарма не бузи.
So when it comes to big picture, the Ukrainian voice acting adds a lot for me to the immersion. But of course that's not for everybody. The English voice acting is okay plus at max. Next up, we're gonna talk about story and immersion, and the story so far does the job. It's interesting, you have lots of different things to do, and it gives you definitely the immersion feeling that you're looking for. What I absolutely love about Stalker 2 though is the free exploration. A tiny spoiler right now. You're playing on the, well, old map, and you can actually go back to the OG camp from the old Stalker series.
Ніяк не можу до кровососів звикнути. Уже рік у зоні, а від них щоразу аж вивертає.
Which is great. That's all I'm gonna say, because if you wanna explore it yourself, I don't wanna spoil too much. Now, I love these post-apocalyptic shooters, be it Metro and be it Stalker, and I'm not saying that Metro is a bad game or a bad series. However, Metro is kinda linear, right? Metro feels more like you play a movie, and Stalker is you're actually playing a video game. This sounds now maybe a little bit dumb, but I hope you get what I want to try to bring across. The free exploration means I'm in charge. I can decide. I see a point of interest in a distance, I can go over there. And that is something, this freedom, that I absolutely love when it comes to these survival games or these post-apocalyptic games. Nice.
Я тобі відповідаю, у неї самою борг брати не раджу, а от з іншими боргодавцями краще...
Miss Kalina?
Ой, цвіте калина, полі де струмок.
Wait, that's Richter. The map is amazing. Like, I'm not saying that it's brimming with life. We're gonna talk about it in a bit. But the setting of the map, I absolutely love it. Different places, most of them are very well done, and maybe they will do even some improvements. You go to a random house, the random house suddenly has a hole in the basement, and you're in a cave, and suddenly a bloodsucker, and you're not supposed to be there, and the bloodsucker is ripping you apart. Yeah, good times. Good times. However, A-Life 2.0 isn't working right now. It's not in the game. The developers addressed this already, and they will give us that soon. No estimated date, but at least they communicated already. It's not there right now, and the way it works right now is not great, because AI spawns very often right behind you and shoots at you, or it spawns right in front of you in your field of vision. This is such a crime. The spawning behind you is... Wait, but those are good guys. Would you mind helping me? Cover! I think we got them. Good job, guys. Bro, the spawning behind you is... Yeah, they got smoked though. Holy crap. Yeah, that is kinda immersion breaking when you just crossed a field and at the end of the field suddenly you get the marker that you get detected from behind and you're like, wait, I've been there just 2 seconds ago and there was nobody and suddenly there's a troop, like, there are 5 bandits and they're shooting at me. This feels weird. And on top of that, sadly, they missed a few opportunities, in my opinion. So I found a bandit armor, right? You look like a bandit. I would assume that bandits will not attack you immediately, right? Maybe if you get too close and they realize, hey, this is not one of our dudes, then they will shoot you, but they shoot you from 100 meters away. No way they can tell that I am not one of them. I'm wearing their bandit uniform. It's the same with the soldiers. The moment you have the bandit uniform, they should come over and inspect you and say, hey man, are you really a bandit? Or are you, you know? This is like such a missed opportunity with factions and everything. There is also not really a karma system, so you can just go on a killing spree with mostly no consequences. So yeah, also some areas are clearly not finished. At the beginning you don't really feel that, but then you go to the end of the map, literally to the swamp, and suddenly the game kinda falls apart. It turns into a running simulator. Sometimes a few places are not accessible because the doors just do not spawn if you don't have the quest for it. Then you get teleported away from certain areas. You have no idea what's going on until chat tells you while you stream the game that, well, you don't have the quest, and without the quest you don't know what's going on. Which is like, dude, I want free exploration. If I want to go to the swamp, the game needs to let me know, hey man, something's wrong here, and without the right contract you cannot progress, and this feels weird. Doors don't spawn in because you suddenly have quests. Right? On top of that, the later zones are very barren. Basically no AI, no bandit camps and stuff like that. Yeah, it's clearly not finished when you come a little bit to the late game. And I'm talking here about 20-30 plus hours. So yeah, we had that already. Some areas don't work without quest. And let me give you really quick just one tip. If you really want to have the Stalker, well, experience and more immersion, turn off the HUD and turn off the crosshair. Then your game looks like this, and it's a game changer in my opinion. They look like bandits. Well, gotten pretty good. Yeah, without the HUD, without a crosshair, this is a completely... It's a nice experience. I like it a lot, dude. Whew, yeah, let's jump to the difficulty topic. Okay, so let me tell you that the difficulty in this game is kinda awkward, honestly. For me, personally, and maybe other people out there feel the same, the difficulty of the game is honestly a joke. I played the game so far on veteran mode, and I think I will keep it that way, but I'm strongly considering mods to increase the difficulty of the game. Why? Because you constantly have too much mats and ammo. So now you're probably, well, you buy a crap ton, why do you do this? And it's, no, I just go full loot goblin mode. I see a chest, I loot it. I see a box, I break it, and I loot it. But at the end of the day, this looks something like this. Dude, look at this, man. This is always so weird whenever I have to do this. This is all crap. This is the armor piercing, I keep that. Yeah, that helps already a bit. Those are the trash nades. Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah. Kinda sad. And I don't think it's supposed to be that way. Now, difficulty when it comes to fighting enemies, AI is kinda easy, like ridiculously easy. You happy? You're welcome, by the way. Ooh, dude. He doesn't need it anymore, guys. So who are the good guys? It's like Warhammer 40k, there are no good guys. Oh, are you mad? Is he mad? I don't know if he's mad. Oh, he's so mad. Well, now he's not mad anymore.
Стояти. Кейса Султанового забрати хотів. Так тут за ним черга. Жени Кейса сюди, якщо не хочеш проблем.
I don't think
Обійдешся
so.
без кейса.
Думаєш, сильно розумний, гнида? Валіть його.
But would you look at this? This is a shotgun. And you know what a shotgun does? Bang! I hope it was worth it, boys. I don't have a big problem with that, though, because they should die quickly. You shoot somebody in the head and they're not having a good time, which is probably an understatement. Shooting at the torso when they have armor, yeah, I get it. They are allowed to be a little bit bullet spongy when you don't use armor-piercing rounds. And sometimes they have a helmet and they need more than one headshot. Some human AI, well, human, the ones with the fried brains, they only die to headshots sometimes, which is crazy. But it's still not difficult because they deal no damage. So I will probably increase the damage from the human AI because I'm the bullet sponge suddenly. And surprisingly, it doesn't feel great when anybody is a bullet sponge. Like, enemies shouldn't be bullet spongy and you shouldn't be bullet spongy. When you play this on the highest difficulty, you're not supposed to tank like, I don't know, 20 rounds of an assault rifle. I don't want to die instantly, but I have some good armor and some decent artifacts right now, and I just rush through stuff. And whenever you fight monsters, you have to be kinda careful with some bloodsuckers, especially when there's more than one. But otherwise, before the patch, they were very bullet spongy and almost never died. After the patch, they feel way better. You ass. Yeah, he doesn't like that. I missed sadly one shell. Well, that one hit though. Yeah. The rework is way better though. They actually die now. You still have some enemies that are bullet spongy. Like a Psydog can eat a ridiculous amount of ammo. Is this a Psydog? My god, now I can guess which one it is. This one. Boy, I'm fast as fuck, holy crap. Oh wait, we get help actually, okay. Oh, don't spawn on me, man. Oh, there he is! Oh, I got him! Thanks for the help, guys! But when it comes to mutants, I can kinda understand it when they're a little bit more bullet spongy, they mutated, they're not... Yeah, they don't have anything to do with realism anymore, so them being a bit bullet spongy, I can live with that. Now, before the patch, repairing and everything was basically... Yeah, the only thing difficult was hitting the repair button. That changed though. So right now you can actually do repairs and you're not immediately broke afterwards, and it's so good. Upgrades are still expensive, as they should be. They're very powerful, but now you can at least repair stuff. Before the patch, I did not repair at all. I just swapped gear that I found in the zone. But I would say that survival is not really a thing. Yeah, which is awkward, because you're kind of playing a survival game, and it doesn't feel like one. And I'm playing on hard. It's not like I'm playing on easy, then I would understand it. If you play a game on easy, you just wanna, you know, have some fun, have a good time. But I'm playing this on veteran. I wanna suffer a little bit, you know. Like, okay, so there's a single player and a planned multiplayer experience. Let's summarize the single player experience that I had so far. Exploration is amazing because the map is awesome. The game has a very good foundation. This is all I wanted Stalker 2 to be. However, it's not done yet. The artifacts look amazing. I wish there would be more though, because hunting for artifacts is kinda... I play 8 hours and I get like not that many, honestly. The anomalies are fun. There are even a few new ones, so that is cool. Okay. What in the... Oh shit! Wait. Do I shoot this? No, I do not shoot this. Okay, this is... What in the... And then something that was always weird at release day was the economy. The economy was... You got some very valuable items and you wanted to sell them and you got basically nothing. So the economy is patched now and feels in a better place. Let me repair my stuff first, because that is still expensive. Although it's not costing 20 to 30k anymore. Yeah, this is nice. These repair costs are Gucci right now. Before the patch, you got some really good stuff. You wanted to sell it for some coupons, and you basically got nothing. And it was just like, why am I even collecting artifacts when there's absolutely no point in selling them? Artifacts should be the most valuable items. This is why people go to the zone to find these things, and then they don't pay you for that. That is kind of weird. The next thing is that the map sadly feels empty when it comes to the single player experience, because A-Life 2.0 is missing. In case I didn't mention it yet, A-Life 2.0 is basically how AI spawns and behaves and fights against each other. I hope that is correct what I just said, but I think it is. Also, killing mutants. Mutants are a little bit pointless when it comes to hunting them. Of course, they are not pointless because they terrify you, they make the game a little bit more difficult. Some of them guard a stash or some points of interest, so they have a purpose. But otherwise, when you just roam the map and there's a pack of dogs and they attack you, you're basically wasting ammo because you can't loot them. There is a mod out there that lets you loot mutants, which is nice and probably a good idea to add to your game. So for me personally, the death is missing and they could do a bit more. It still feels great. I had a lot of fun after the last 2 patches playing the game, but we really need to wait for A-Life 2.0, and I hope that there will be some sort of faction system. Now this won't take too long because multiplayer is not in the game right now. I still want to cover it quickly. Multiplayer is planned. Now I don't want to be the one who crushes your hopes, but that will not be co-op. Which is a shame in my opinion. Stalker would be such a great co-op game. Maybe one day there will be mods. We have mods for Elden Ring co-op, and that works pretty well. I don't know if this is possible with Stalker 2, because probably the whole server stuff in the background will probably be a little bit more tricky compared to Elden Ring, I assume, but time will tell. So I think this is a huge missed opportunity. So it will most likely be some basic PvP, maybe capture the artifact instead of capture the flag, team deathmatch and stuff like that. In my opinion, not that important, okay? I want to compare this with Space Marine 2. I bought Space Marine 2 for the story, for the main campaign, for being a badass blood angel, slaughtering heretics. I love it. Not for the PvP. And then, surprisingly, the PvP was fun. It was absolutely old school. Like it gave me Quake vibes from back in the days. But I had fun for a couple hours, and that's all video games should be about. Having fun. So that was a pleasant surprise. So if Stalker 2 can do that as well, sure, why not? But please focus on the, well, single player experience, because that's why I play the game. I know that there is still an active multiplayer community for the OG Stalker games. So I'm not saying there are people, or that there are not people out there who want this, but I think the majority of us want a working single player experience before we dip into a team deathmatch Stalker 2. Okay, we're getting closer to the end. We have 2 more big chapters, and that is what did I like and what I think should improve in my opinion. Let's start with the good stuff first. Number 1. It really captured the Stalker vibe in my opinion. The zone is great, sure a bit empty, but overall I'm getting the old school feeling from back in the days. The map is one of the best that I've ever seen in these kind of games, so that's a big thumbs up. And they also keep the style of the old games. They're not reworking the whole, inventory system. It looks very similar to the inventory system from back in the days. And this freestyle gaming, this free exploration is something that I absolutely love, and they did a good job with that. Exploring anomalies, finding new ones, and hunting the artifacts is also something that I enjoyed a lot. Let's see if there's an artifact here. That looks like a good location for an artifact. Yeah, this is gonna be fun, man. Maybe on the box? Ooh, probably should not have done that, huh? It's down there. There we go. Jesus Christ. Crystal Thorn. Ooh. Oh, that is fancy. I just love it. You go to a random point of interest, you meet an NPC, you need to help him, you go down there, then you realize he betrayed another NPC, left him behind to die to the mutants and to the anomalies. Then you get his gun, and then you have to decide, do you give it to him or do you keep it and you kill the guy? And there's just so much. And I love this. But there needs to be more. Decent amount of mutants, although I would like to see more. Most of them, I know them already. I found this weird cat thing that mimics human voices, and that was kind of creepy. But there needs to come more. Probably very difficult. Also, non-spongy human AI is something big thumbs up that would absolutely not be good in my opinion. And mutants show a bit of intelligence. Weirdly enough, it's the mutants and not the human AI. Because when you're sitting on a roof and you're trying to shotgun everything that is down there, they actually take cover. Which is kind of cool, honestly. And you have very flavorful side quests. Mentioned already one, but there's plenty of side quests out there. Okay, that's what I liked. There's of course more. Let me know in the comment section what you liked about Stalker 2 before we dip down to the stuff that probably needs improvement in the future. Alright, so no game is perfect, and Stalker 2 is definitely not one of them. So human AI looks odd, like the facial expression. Don't want to sound too rude, but that just looks old. Like really old, and it's so weird because it's not consistent. Because you have characters in the game and they look amazing. They look fabulous. And then the next dude looks like he got 3D printed. Although 3D printers nowadays probably do a pretty good job. I don't know. What's a stupid example? Now, A-Life 2.0 sadly missing is known. And they need also an update for the behavior of the human AI. They are kind of weird. They take less cover than mutants. Their grenade skills are insane. You hear a grenade, you have to move. It will always 95% plus land right where you're standing. That feels a little bit weird. Otherwise, they're flanking and everything. That is kind of nice, but at the end of the day, I wish there are a little bit more intelligence for the human AI. The next thing is that I rarely face consequences. So there's not really a karma or faction system. So I sometimes don't have the greatest day, right? I'm in a grumpy mood, NPC pisses me off, bang bang, you move on. That's it. Rarely any consequences. And hunting mutants is pointless. Mentioned that already. You only lose stuff whenever you engage mutants. Not 100% true, because sometimes the mutants guard, of course, a stash or a good gun or armor. Sure. So when you explore and you find mutants, they probably guard something. But otherwise, out in the wild, and they spawn, you kind of want to dodge them and just run whenever you can, because it's just not worth it. There are a few mutants that have like this electric collar, but that's kind of a quest item. And that's not really what I would call, yeah, you don't kill them for that, right? And one more thing is the weight system. Although it seems to have improved after the last 2 patches, I can sprint now way longer than I could before, and it feels great. And no, I did not swap any artifacts, so that is nice. But still, very often I have to drop gear and stuff, or I cannot pick guns or a second armor with me that I found, because you just can't carry it. So maybe the game wants to have it like this, because then you need to find artifacts that increase your weight. But maybe I'm just unlucky, and I didn't find any artifacts yet that increase my carry capacity. So the next thing is the economy was broken. It's fixed now. I still have it here on this slide, because I think they should add more to the economy, like mutant parts in the base game and not with a mod. That would be great. The risk reward system is kinda off, so very often I hunt mutants or I raid a bandit camp and I don't get much. I had like one occasion where there were multiple bloodsuckers in a garage and there was just not any exciting loot at the end. Now, that is probably just me still having the old patch in mind, where you needed a crap ton of shotgun shells to kill bloodsuckers. But it would be nice when something is guarded by super crazy enemies that you get a little bit more. But that is just a minor thing, it will not affect the score at the end. We have the English voice acting, that is lacking. It's doing the job, but it's not great. So I will keep running with the Ukrainian voice acting, that is good. On top of that, I wish there would be a little bit more artifacts. I found a couple, but sometimes you go into an anomaly and there is just nothing. I think that the artifacts respawn after a couple of days. Otherwise, that would of course be a little bit weird. And then at the end, I would like more loot. I know, I might sound like a broken record by now, but you can only loot a couple bats, the ammo types, some armor and guns, and a couple food items. The variety to the loot that you can find in the zone is kinda lacking. Do I want items that is just for selling at the vendor? Maybe I would like that, because after a while it's getting very repetitive to what you actually loot. And then last point on the list is the game is way too easy. That is crazy. I do not get this anxiety when I play Stalker 2. I have always ammo, I have always mats, I have always food. And honestly, the food system is kind of whatever in the game, because I always have food. So why do you even have the system in the game? Just so I have to keep every couple minutes hit a button and eat some bread or a sausage? That is lacking some depth too. Maybe you can give us some more well-refined settings, a little bit more detail there, how the enemy behaves. I, for example, right now just want the human AI to deal more damage. That's it. That's literally it. I don't want to be bullet spongy. Guess I need some mods for that. Would be nice if the game would have that in the future too. Okay, so replay value and playtime is honestly difficult to judge right now for me because I'm not at the end of the game. I'm 30 hours in, which is already kind of nice. The replay value depends a lot on update and what kind of mods there will be. I think the modding community will go crazy because, well, they did it already for the previous Stalker part, so I would be surprised if there won't be a lot of amazing mods for Stalker 2. And DLCs probably, or regular updates. I don't know how that will look like. So when you Google playtime for Stalker 2, you get like lots of numbers, between 60, but most of the time I saw 80 to 100 hours when you want to complete everything. Let's see if they're right. So far I'm 30 hours in and I explored probably half the zone, but I didn't do everything over there. That being said though, everywhere I go I check every point of interest and check every stash and everything. So I'm doing this very, very thoroughly. Now of course, there's an upcoming multiplayer which can add a couple hours, and if the multiplayer is actually good, then you have an unlimited gameplay loop. That's always the cool thing about PvP games, because PvP games in theory never really have an ending. Because you play match after match after match, and when you enjoy the gameplay loop, you have fun with that. On top of that, there are multiple endings, alright? I'm not gonna spoil how many there are. The question is, do you wanna play the whole story again just for the other endings, or do you look them up on YouTube? Gonna be honest, I will probably play one playthrough and then wait for the multiplayer. Okay, before we start this, let me tell you that a rating system is always, well, heavily biased, right? By me in this case. So this is my personal opinion, feel free to disagree. But when you disagree, I would like to see in the comment section how you rate Stalker 2. Let's get going. So let's address the elephant in the room. I'm gonna take a whole point for lack of life. You will not feel this when you play the game at the beginning, but later on some areas are very barren. And it's just A-Life 2.0 when it works, because we actually have no idea how that will finally look like, should solve this. There are a lot of quests, you have missions, there's enough to explore, but the places are very often just empty. So, roaming bandits, roaming stalkers. I saw exactly once, a bloodsucker fighting dogs. That was something back in the days you had way more, that the different mutants were fighting against each other. Not the case in Stalker 2. Well, it is the case in Stalker 2, that's not correct what I'm saying. You just don't encounter it very often. Now, I had a few points on this list, and Stalker 2 was losing points for horrible economy and some quality of life features, the whole sprinting and whatnot, but the last couple patches did a good job with most of the things that I disliked. And honestly, I'm just not used to devs putting out patches, actually big and important patches, that quickly. That is crazy. So I have high hopes for A-Life 2.0 coming very soon. Next though, performance and crashes, I still have them, and at the beginning, without any help, I don't think I would have kept trying and played the game at the end, which is crazy, so you lose half a point for performance and crashes. And then you're gonna lose, I'm sorry, another point for just missed opportunities. For example, yes, again, I'm gonna mention it, the bandit armor, but there's just more. A faction system would be nice, that you can maybe join them, and then the other factions might dislike you. There is... I mean, we had this back in the days with Gothic, so this... and Gothic is old. So I think that score is kinda fair. They will probably not be able to solve the whole thing with the missed opportunities. Fine, I'm still having a lot of fun, the game is good, but A-Life 2.0 needs to come. And then we have a total rating of 7.5 out of 10. Now, give or take, this can turn into a 7 out of 10 or maybe even into an 8 out of 10. It really depends which zone I just visited. For example, 3 days ago I was in a swamp that was a horrible experience because stuff wasn't working and was totally barren. Then I would probably say, hey, this zone is absolutely empty, let's drop this down to a 7. And last stream I was in a zone that was, again, a lot to explore, lots of anomalies, quests and whatnot, and it goes up to an 8.0. So rough estimate for this would be 7 out of 10. You can agree and disagree with this. Let me know in the comment section how you would rate Stalker 2 right now. Okay, we're at the end of the video. Should you buy the game? This question is of course always very, very difficult because the only person who can answer this is you. The video is only giving you a foundation for your decision making. I personally would say no. And this is odd because I think I never did a review and then at the end did not recommend the game. But let me explain before you're getting the torches and the pitchforks. If you are a hardcore fan of the Stalker universe, buy it and you will have fun. However, you're playing right now a foundation. The foundation is crazy good, don't get me wrong. But single player games, story driven games, exploration games, first impression is what matters. Sure, you can replay the game, but you will know the areas already. And right now, for example, I went to the swamp and I absolutely did not have fun over there. Because, hopefully, Life 2.0 was just not there. So, first impression, most important one, wait for Life 2.0 to be fixed. Then play the game. When it works. You never know. This will overall improve your experience, hopefully, by a lot. Single player games, I know there are people out there who play them multiple times. I play this once and then I wait for DLCs or maybe I do some mods and whatnot. But the base game, I think I kind of ruined some areas for me, some moments for me, because it was not as good as it could be. So hardcore fans, go out there, buy it, you will have fun. If you're new to the Stalker series and you don't need to play it right now, wait for Life 2.0 and then go for it. Alright, we're at the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like. Yes, YouTuber like begging is always cringe and annoying, but it is sadly part of the job. Whenever I don't do it, yeah, you're not liking it. Although you seem to like it, because whenever I remind you, you do it. So, thank you very much for that. And dislike the video in case you don't like it. That is fair game. As always, big shout out to my patrons. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. You are simply the best. I don't know when I can release this video, but hopefully this weekend. That would be nice. And with that, I wish you a happy day. Thank you for watching. Looking forward to do more reviews. There are a lot of work to produce, but I hope it will help you out. That would be nice. And see you in the next one. Until then, have a good day and bye bye.